Evening. It's now currently 8:48. It's a hot day. I think it's about 23, 24 degrees Celsius outside. It's been quite stormy as well. And yeah, I basically have decided, following yesterday's fiasco, I'm going to work on my priest again. But this time I'm going through all the spells. I've basically got a very simple build from Wowhead on my computer, and we'll go from there. See if I'm doing anything fundamentally wrong, which I am. But I'll work it all out as I'm going along, and we'll. I'm sorry, it's going to be a pretty dull stream. So first things first, let's bring up World of Warcraft. The What I've done is I've taken all the priest spells in order in the spell book that they've come. So first of all, let's see the general priest spells, and then you've got the holy spells on in addition, and they're all in a bottom spell book spell binding section, which I'll move around. I may move around later on, but for now we just have the basics all in place, ready to go. And anything later on, we'll put in the priorities. We'll put some of the macros back as I'm going along, and hopefully that'll get a bit closer to where I should be as a healer. So first up is Angelic Feather. That's movement, so I've actually got two macros for that. I've got the one that's cast at myself, which is my main use of it, and I've also got a secondary macro which goes to basically drop it at the cursor, which I put on my mouse, which is my F12. So one can go there, and the other one can go on me relatively easily. So yeah, that's just set up for ease of use. Hello, Tabitha. You gonna help me out? Talent I'm working on at the moment is I'm just using the standard Miracle Worker 3, which is on Wowhead. As I get better, I'll customize later on and find out how all of this works together. But for now, this will do as a starting point, and I'll work it out as I'm getting better at healing, but for now I'll just go with the guides and nothing fancy. So now that Angelic Feather's in place, we can get rid of that one. Okay, Desperate Prayer, which is, I think it's an instant heal, but I think it's for me only. Let me just double check. Desperate Prayer. And yes, that's an instant heal on myself. So that can just go on F12 as a final save my own life, just in case. If I have a defense, basically a lot of these are my defense. How this works is my F keys are normally utility spells or lifesavers. If I have to save myself, those are the ones I use. However, there's a couple of utilities which I send out to people as well, so that's part of my F12s. Part of how my F keys work. Anyway, my main key though is my primary spells. So it could be a lot of my macros are attack and defense, and I'll move them around later on. My my shift key, shift 1 to 12, is a for being distracting Tabitha. Is the my shift keys are basically longer cooldowns or more volatile spells. So on my mage, I have my time warp spell set up on one of my shift number keys because I do not want to accidentally trigger it, but I do want it close to hand if I need it. So that's basically the working the workings for how I'm working my way through. So fade is a drop aggro, but not quite as useful as it's help survive spell. It's not instantly usable, but it is one of those usable ones. So what I've done is I've put that on F6 so that it is to hand when I need it. I would have been tempted to put it to F3, but F3 I've actually got saved for I think actually am I going to do actually I'll put it to F9 because I'll have leap of faith there sooner or later. Okay, so bread and butter heal is flash heal, but it's a big mana use, so you want it to be about there. I've also got flash heal set to my on a macro, so let's bring that up. So flash heal, I'll keep that as as number 6 because it's a combination of smite and flash heal. So standard mouse over macro if it helps. If it isn't, if I haven't got anything else selected, it will just do it to me. Let me just double check.
I can't attack that target. I can't attack that.
Yeah,
I don't have a target. I need a target.
No, you don't. Hang on, let me check that because that's. I think I need to add at player macro as well. Oh. Yeah, so what I will do instead of known, I'll put in there a slight change of at player. So and set that to harm. Yeah, the problem with that is I've had to put in so let's find out if that works. Oh, hang on. I've done something wrong here. Let me see. I need to Okay, I'm gonna quickly open up Notepad. Because where am I going wrong here? Hang on. First up, we don't want to be doing on separate lines. We want it all in one place. What I'll do is connect. And I just set it so that it's in place. And I don't really want to be doing it this way. But I'm going to take a chance on this, see if this works. So, the reason why I'm doing it in there rather than the macro editor is because the macro editor is quite too small for my eyes. Okay, that's a lot better. So, let's deselect it and let's see if that works. So 6. Yes.
Tell me of your travels.
I'm not sure if I can actually. Okay, let's try changing it back a bit then. So what I'm going to try is putting it so that it's swaps around ever so slightly. Let's see if this still works. Okay, good. That's still in position. I won't know if it works until I actually physically try on another. But I don't really want to try until I've got everything in place. Okay, so I'm going to say for now that's a success, but it may not be. Okay, so next up is Halo. Halo's a 40-second cooldown, but it's an AoE heal that does a lot to bring people back from. So it's one of those things where you want to be ready to use it. It's not an overly long cooldown, so it's a nice in case of emergency. What I'll do is I'll put that at there for now, and I'll put the old favourite Holy Nova, which is AoE quick heal, Actually, I'll put them up a bit so they're actually on. So I've got that in position 7, and Halo. Because it does also do pretty good damage if I am entering an AoE section. Could be useful. Okay, Leap of Faith, the old favourite. Or I'm going to put that as a mouse over macro. And just in case somebody goes and decides they're going to drop. So pull them to one side just in case. Actually, I'll put that to 6 because that has a tendency of I have a tendency of failing on that one. So we'll get rid of that. Next up is the old favourite, Levitate. Also a mouse over, but if I don't have a target, it just levitates myself. So when I fall, it's always a nice thing to dump into place just in case. Okay, so next up is so we've got levitate out of the way. Okay, mass dispel. I do want that on my bars, but I don't really want to be with it. I actually have it already on there as a I'll put that as a as my secondary how can I put this? It's my secondary cleanup merchant. It basically works there as a if everyone gets infected, I basically just hit mass dispel, and then actually probably better to put it as a no, because I want to take a second or two just to make sure I'm putting it in the right place rather than at cursor curls. Every so often your cursor's off position, you want to be really with your cursor in the right position. So that's one of those spells you do need to make sure it's right. Mind Soothe. Mind Soothe, Mind Soothe, Mind Soothe. It's how can I put Mind Soothe? I'd put that as a fade, the equivalent of a fade, but I don't know, I've never used Mind Soothe before, so I'm going to put that there. It's a reduction on my what's called on my aggro, so best is ready to go. But fade is my primary. Mind Soothe is my secondary. Next up is Mind Visage, Mind Vision, which that's a no. I don't really want to be dealing with anything to do with that one. But it's one of those ones which I've never found a use for it. It's one of those flavor spells which people like, or some people like. Okay. Power Infusion. The interesting part about Power Infusion is let me see. on. Okay, don't think about it yet. So I'm just thinking of a macro for Psychic Stream and Void Tendrils, but no. It probably is actually a good way to use it. Where was I? Yeah, so Power Infusion, I've actually got macroed in with my... hang on, let me just see. So Power Infusion is already macroed up, ready to go. Let me see, what was it macroed under? Okay, so I've actually macroed it under one. I actually macroed in Circle of Healing under the okay, what's the range? 30 yards on Circle of Healing with a 10-second cooldown. I'm actually putting Circle of Healing to let me see. I think I'll put that to 9 actually. Wildlife is also on a 30-second cooldown, but okay, hang on a second. Oh yeah, I've also put into place my mounts beforehand. So regular mount, Stealthing's mount, and what do you call it? Dragon riding mount. I've also got my Flight Master's whistle ready to go. Okay, has Sharvanger just been killed then? Is that what this was? Yeah, Sharvanger's just been killed, so that's what that noise was. I was thinking he'd come up and he'll be back in about 15 minutes anyway. But yeah, so I thought he was making a noise to be killed, not he was being killed. So yeah, so Power Infusion. I'm actually going to macro that one into 1 because it is one of those ones which you do need to use off cooldown and either use it on yourself or somebody else. What I'm going to do is quickly grab the macro, which I'm already using for 1. And the reason why I'm going to keep it as key 1 is because it'll be easier for dealing with what would you call it? It's easier to deal with when you know what's going on. Oh, sorry. That's Tabitha meowing in the background. Yeah, so and if not, make sure that that's at player. Okay. Yes. I left a keyboard on the floor, so actually what I'll also do is set. I may actually, when I get about doing my shadow spec, I may actually put it so I may put Power Infusion under the same thing as well. So it's just becomes one macro rather than a different circumstances for requirements macro. That makes things easier. Up and out. Let's see. Does that macro blow up? Well, it would be easier to put it in place anyway. So.
Something first.
Yeah, so what I will do is also put that as a help arm macro, just in case. Anyway, yeah, so power infusion. Fine, that's done, dusted. Right, power word fortitude on F4 from control control 4. So if I die, instantly when I come back to life, first step, put it back up. And it's out of the way enough to know where it is, but not have to think about. Let me see. Power word life. That's a curious one. I've not seen that one properly before. It looks like it's heals target for 14,000 XP. Sorry, for 14,000 health. But it's basically if I'm really struggling to bring somebody back, that is a must bring back. I think I do. I don't know. Yes, I do. But I've got it macroed under 9, which is. Let's check the other ones because if they're. Okay, so Holy Word Sanctify is if everything goes to hell and everyone and 6 allies need to be healed. So, yep, that is powerful. Put to one side. What I will do is make sure it's that macro in place. So the other one is important is Holy Word Serenity. Which I actually think is how can I put it? It's an instant heal, but it's a minute and it's gets cooldowns as well. So I actually think that Holy Word Serenity is more useful than that mouse over. Or we'll put that at So it'll either heal me or it'll heal somebody else. But I want to put that to actually not to that, not to there. I'm going to move it so that it's actually. I'm going to put powered life. Serenity I want to be moving more often, using more often. Powered life. So let me see. Put Serenity to do I even want to? I'm actually going to move that there, so it's a bit more centralized. So what was set to 8? Okay, so Halo set to 9. But on fact, we put Holy Word Serenity as at 7. I'm going to put at 9. I'm going to put Halo. So let's get that out and that in place, and then put Serenity and Halo. Okay. So we'll take Serenity off. Okay, so best case scenario is that that's somebody else. Worst case scenario, I use it myself. Put that to equal to equals or whatever. Wait. Let me see. Basically the final thing. Actually no, one before final key, because the final one is Divine Hymn, which is a 3-minute cooldown, and it basically is a massive heal if everything goes to hell. So yeah, we do want that on 9. That is a larger cooldown, but it's a must to have as an emergency. Would up a powered life, or haven't I yet? I don't think I have yet, which is so. Let me see. 8, 9, 10. Okay, so yes, so this is powered life. Let's copy that across. Control V, and so basically, most of the time it will do 14,000 damage, 14,000 healing, but if somebody's below 35%, it'll do a lot more. So we want another spellbook. And you want. The reason why I'm doing it this way is less likely to mess it up. Put it in a good place. So, powered life. Next up, powered shield. That's a no-no. Well, it's not a no-no, it's just a... You really... If you're using powered shield, you're doing something very wrong. It could be that you dump a shield on somebody just in case if they are taking damage and you can't get another spell off quickly, but it's a spell of last resort. See, I've got a mouse over for that one on its own. I don't, so what I'm going to do is Control V. So that one, I'm just going to put that to. Actually, what I'll do is add this. It doesn't. It's universal. I'm going to save it and that mouse over friendly. Comma help. So if it's a helpful target, it gets a shield. If not, so be it. I won't know until I try it. Actually, try out in the arena. Okay, so next up, Prayer of Mending. Yep, this is bread and butter. Okay, what I've done, I've actually forgotten to put the restrictions on there, so let's make sure the restrictions are in place. I'm going to have to check this when I go back to discipline, but Prayer of Mending is basically sit on target, target gets hit, it bounces to somebody else, rinse and repeat. And that's got a cooldown of 10 seconds, so it can be spread around quite easily. Okay, let's see, next up. What it does when it's not at home, it goes and puts it so that it casts Holy Fire, which is basically damage every time spell. Yeah, standard. Okay, so heal, we want to do the same for heal as we've done with what's called with Prayer of Mending. So if I have to cast it on myself, what's called if I have nothing else, it casts it on myself. Otherwise, it casts something harmful at bad guys. For now, this can be done that way. So heal is put into place. So basically, those are my cores. Renew. Renew's another one of those. I can't remember if it's going to be. It is actually pretty powerful, so I'm going to keep. I am going to keep it around as a useful spell, but not overly used. So what I'm going to do is put that to 0, and I'll quickly do a. Oops. Let's do a rinse and repeat on this one. So we'll put renew there, but I think I'll put it. What I also need to do is show tooltip. I'll put that as prayer of mending, the prayer of mending alternative. So worst case scenario, I just hit that. Just do renew on myself or somebody else when the mouse is over them. Okay, next up, get rid of that. Resurrection. That is not used in combat, but it basically just brings them back, brings dead back to life. Can't be used in combat, whatever. Okay, next up, Shadow Word Pain, which is already in place under heal. So that's the heal macro as Shadow Word Pain. So if it's a harm target, it'll go to Shadow Word Pain. If it's a heal target, it'll go to so it'll just do heal. Next up, let's lose that. Smite. Smite is under Flash Heal, and I think I put it under a couple of other spells, but mainly Flash Heal. So it's basically 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. 4, 5, 6 are my main heals and my main damage. I'm gonna check this one again because I don't think he's going to be alive, but whatever. He is still alive. I'm killing him for being annoying. Let me see. Nope, he's not. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Circle of healing. Sorry,